467 800. Lines will be open until 12:15 tonight and from noon till 6 tomorrow.
In a perfect world, everyone would accept one another and race would be no longer an issue. However, the guests today say that within their very own families, they have to deal with the hurtful racist attitudes, and it's driving them apart. Meet Gino. He says he loves his father, but his dad is a racist. Gino says his father really dislikes both blacks and women. What makes your father a racist?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of the big reasons that I called the show here about racism is one of my best friends. He's in my fraternity at NDSU, Sigma Chi, and he's black, and he's one of my best friends, and my dad has kind of a problem with that. He feels that if I continue to hang around with blacks or continue to have more friends who are blacks, I'm going to eventually want things given to me from society without working for them and stuff.
Does your dad think that his attitude is typical?
He thinks that a lot of white men do have this attitude, but they're not willing to go out on the limb and support it like he is.
And how does he feel about women in the workplace? Well,
women in the workplace, I guess you could say definitely my dad, not too hot about it. He thinks that if there is a woman in the workplace, the odds are a male gave her that position. Sorry.
So what has this done to you? I mean, you were raised by your father. How did you not turn out the way that he is?
Well, my dad has always raised all of us kids to be very independent, and he'd never force his views on us. And I went away to college, and I guess I got more educated and stuff, and I don't agree with my father on a lot of the subjects. But like I said, my dad raised us all to be very independent thinking. And if we don't agree with what he says, that's fine. Me and my dad agree that we disagree, and we try to get along, basically.
So he respects your not being a racist?
Absolutely.
Will he admit to being a racist?
We'll see. We'll definitely see.
We're putting him on the spot today.
Yes, we're gonna.
So he sounds to me like he's a little bit like maybe the Carol O'Connor character in All in the Family.
A bit, yeah. When you meet him, he's from another generation. A lot of us who are brought up in this generation, the 90s and stuff, and our kids, they're not going to be as racist, I don't think. I don't think there's going to be as much as a split. When he grew up, there was a big difference between blacks and whites, and maybe that's why he's the way he is.
He needs to wake up and smell the coffee. What does he think about race mixing?
He does not agree with interracial relationships at all. He feels that if a black and a white get married or Hispanic or anything, that the individuals who are going to end up being hurt from it are the kids, and he doesn't like it. Another thing is, from where we're from, there is not a lot of interracial relationships, and if you see it, it's not the norm, and it's just not the norm. Like around here, you know, it's pretty ethnically diverse. In Mandan, Bismarck, North Dakota, it's primarily white Anglo-Saxon German people.
Okay, and your dad, get this audience, your dad actually believes that it was the blacks that burned down Los Angeles.
Those were statements that he made.
Anybody want to comment on this? Stand up, sir.
But I feel it's just a matter of education. Once people get to know what race and how the cultures are from one race to another, then there wouldn't be any more thinking like the old-fashioned thinking that people do think. Once we get the education done, people will start to think.
I completely agree.
Correctly.
He just needs to be educated, and
I think it also comes from maybe insecurity. He's afraid that maybe he's going to lose his job to a black or to a woman.
That's very possibly it. Maybe in the past, which I don't know about, he might have been slighted by affirmative action or something like that. That I'm not. Maybe there's something in his past that I've never been aware of. But hopefully we can change that today.
Yeah, hopefully. Audience, you ready to meet his dad? She said yes. Gene, why don't you come on out? Audience, let's be fair. He's being
give me
kind
a
enough to
break.
come and tell his story, okay? So let's give him respect. Hi, Gene. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Is your son right to believe that you're a racist?
Absolutely not. Come on, guys, give me a break. I'm no more racist than half of you out there, or 90% of you. You all sit out there and you say you're not racist. Don't give me that crap. Your daughter come home with a black guy, vice versa. If you had a black guy and you come home with a white girl, hey, you be thinking about it. You won't say it, but you're thinking it.
So you're saying we all believe the way you do?
No, I'm saying you're thinking probably in the background, but you ain't gonna say it because you're an ethnically diverse town here. Hey, we come in a different area of the country. We don't see it like you do here, and you grow up with it, you're used to it. We're not.
So you're contradicting yourself. You're saying in your town you are a racist.
No, I'm not a racist, because I got friends that are black, and I got friends that are brown, I got
That's
friends
true.
that are red.
I mean, he does have friends who are black and Hispanic and stuff, but there's just
What?
certain points that he completely that we
Then
disagree on.
Gene, why do you have a problem with your son being roommates with a black?
No problem. I told him before, he can have all the roommates he wants, all the kinds of friends he wants that are black, no problem. But I don't want it to lead into marriage. That's where I'm stopping the line.
Yes, what do you want to say?
Yes, I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I have a former father-in-law that was exactly like you. And it was because of him the reason why my ex-fiancée and I broke up. Because of the fact that I date Caucasian women, because that's what all they are in Canada. I didn't like the fact that he sabotaged our relationship because we were having a baby and the baby is mixed. And his exact words, quote unquote, were, the baby is not gonna know what color he or she is. I believe I can date whomever I feel like it. I can raise my child to believe whatever he or she believes. And you should not label someone because of their skin color. Never.
Come on, Dad. Let me go. Hey, that's a dad. Hey, I don't care. You can marry who you want. That's no problem. But hey, grow up and smell the roses. This isn't Shangri-La. You're kids. Let me finish.
I believe you should wake up
you
and
should
smell what
the
everything is
roses.
going on, all right? You should wake
Let
up.
me finish. Let me finish. Can I say it? Finish. Hey, you aren't growing up in this town. Go in another area where the kids have to grow up when they're mixed relation. It don't work that smooth.
But let me just ask you, Gene. Let's say your son Gino was engaged to be married to a black woman. You wouldn't have a problem with it?
Hey, that's his bed. He'll sleep in it. I don't have no problem. And I won't even have a problem with the kids. But those kids are going to have problems, and you got to admit it.
Because
they do
of
have
people
problems.
like you.
No, baloney. Well, like you can say you want. I don't care. Tell them what the one
Yes.
you dated you were killing me.
Well, everybody's always talking about the children. I mean, we realize that children are going to get teased because they're mixed. But in life, kids are cruel, as they say. You're going to get teased about anything. So if the only thing they have against you is that you're mixed, you got off good. That's just how I feel.
Now, you say you want the races to be pure?
Well, not necessarily pure, but hey, what's wrong with being a pure race? Is there something wrong with that? Wait a minute. How do you know?
My dad's not like truly evil. He's not a member of the KKK and believes in burning crosses and hanging people. I mean,
What'd you say?
You might as well be. You talk about there's a difference between black
You
and
telling me there ain't no difference?
Excuse me?
You telling me there's no
Yourself. You need to go back to
Oh, you don't
Dakota,
know what you're
wherever the hell
talking
you
about.
came from. Because it's not that bad like you saying it here.
I'm from there. So don't, no,
So then what
please,
you
please don't say that all North Dakotans, believe that, because it's not true.
Okay, you're coming to your father's defense, but you are here today because you have a problem with your dad's racist attitude.
all right.
Why don't you tell him how you feel?
Well, there's a lot of times that...
Don't tell me, tell him.
There's a lot of times like we'll be watching a television program and stuff like that, and I know he'll agree with this, where there will be an individual who is black, and Dad will just say slurs, racial slurs, and I just get so sick and tired of it that I have to either leave the room or just ignore it.
What do you think of that, Gene?
Hey, I admit, I'm just like anybody else. When I see something on TV I don't like, I say something. And hey, I don't come out and say it to you, and I wouldn't come up to you and call you anything. Because, what do you mean you know better? Why don't you let me finish?
Let him finish. Let's give him time to speak.
I mean,
yes.
hey, just because, I don't particularly like him getting married to somebody don't mean I'm going to come up and call you all kinds of names. Why the hell should I?
Well, meet Kim and her boyfriend, Chris. Kim says that her family has basically disowned her because she is with someone who is white. Chris says her family is just plain stupid, and if they could look past the color of his skin, they would realize how much he loves Kim. Kim, why do you think that your family is acting this way?
I think it has a lot to do with because he's white. I mean, it's like, I'm told that there's like a lot of different reasons why. I'm told that it's because, you know, I had a baby before I was married, and because of how we met, and I just kind of like ran off with him. And that's basically, those are the reasons that they give me, but I think it's all basically just because he's white.
But he doesn't beat you?
No.
He doesn't treat you poorly?
No.
You love her, Chris?
Right.
And is it true that you're not even allowed on her driveway?
I went to her house one time, and her dad, he came out, well, he wasn't even home. I pulled up in the driveway, and I was going to give some stuff for the baby, because when the baby was first born, she lived with her parents. So I drove over there with some bottles and some stuff that I had bought for the baby, and her dad said, "I told you not to be on my property." So I left his property, and I really haven't been back there. I mean,
He's not even allowed over there right now. I mean, he can't even come over, and because I lived at home for a while when I was first pregnant, and he didn't really even see the baby the first 3 months of his life because he couldn't come over. I mean, I had to take him wherever he happened to be staying at.
So you didn't even see your own child for 3 months?
Off and on, about every 3 weeks.
Just whenever I took him, you know, wherever he was staying at. That's the only time that he saw him. And then when the baby was about 3.5 months old, we got a place together.
What did your family do when you told him that you were pregnant with his child?
Well, I don't really know, you know, what their gut reaction was because I wasn't living in the same state at the time when I told them. I was living in Nevada and they were in Michigan, so I just told them over the phone. And the reaction over the phone could have been totally different from what was going on, you know, being said at home, so I don't really know. But they really didn't seem to have a problem with it until I came back home.
Did you consider an abortion because of their attitudes?
Yes, not only because of their attitudes, but also because of society's attitudes. I mean, I knew that it was going to cause a lot of problems with his family and my family, and then I also knew that it would cause a lot of problems in society, and I'm not really the type of person, you know, to go and tell my girlfriend, go and get an abortion. I mean, I'm kind of against abortion, but when I was in that situation,
You could feel the pressure.
I felt the
everyone
pressure
coming down
up
on
until
you.
the day that I was supposed to go and get my abortion. We sat down and had a long talk about it, and we decided, you know, forget what everybody else thinks. You know, we made a baby together, and we're going to keep it.
And now you have one... You have one particular family member, Uncle Edwin, who's almost like a brother to you. How does he feel about your relationship with Chris?
He doesn't like it at all. I mean, I think he's just a little bit more open than my other family members are. I mean, I think he speaks for a lot of the family.
He associates with me. He talks to me. Her dad, or, you know, like, we have this big thing, Gus Macker, that I seen her dad at. And, you know, he shook my hand and says hi to me, but that's as far as it goes. But Edwin, he talks to me, you know, I can't say we're best friends or nothing, but we're friends.
But he still has a problem with it.
Yeah.
And he's here today to talk about those problems.
Yeah.
Do you want to meet him? Yeah. Uncle Edwin, come on out. What's the problem, Uncle Edwin? They seem happy, they seem in love, they have a healthy baby.
The problem for me is that, you know, now they seem happy and everything's going good, but what happens when, you know, that first major crisis come up? Is he going to respect her still as a woman, or is she going to all of a sudden become, you know, less than a woman because of the fact that she is black?
We've had major crisis already, though. We got robbed. Somebody broke in our house with a gun and put it to my son and Kim's, you know, told them to take, that they wanted our money and all that stuff, and then it was, I think, because I was white, and they felt they could take advantage of the situation.
It sounds to me like them people are all racist, too, against, I mean, here you guys were calling me racist. And this is from the other side now. I don't hear none of the racist
They think you're
comments out
both
there.
racists.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, hey, what about her dad? You know, you ain't saying nothing now. You're all the quiet as can be.
Well, my dad,
believe me, they are.
my dad, I honestly do not think that my dad is a racist, and I'm not calling my dad a racist or anything. He has views, you know, he has really, I mean, I love my dad to death, and I don't want to call him a racist or anything because he's not. I mean, he works very closely with white people. He has white friends. He's not a racist at all.
Exactly the way I am.
But, no, wait a minute. that, but I heard some of your views about how you feel about women and about how you'll ridicule, you know, black people on TV and stuff like that. My dad's not going to sit and, you know, ridicule white people on TV or
No,
talk
but
about
but he
women.
does say that whites can't be trusted.
What's that?
He does say that whites can't be trusted. Edwin, you say that too. You say that, were you burned once by a white person?
Well, you know, experience has taught me, has formed my views. I mean...
What experience?
When I was younger, growing up, my best friend was white when I was in junior high school. And, you know, we were best friends. We did everything together. You know, there was no problem until one day we got into an argument. I mean, we really got down into an argument,
and
almost from the blows. And he called me a nigger. And that,
see, you can't judge all white people
that's a
on
huge
the fact of
generalization.
one
That was
person.
junior high school. You were children.
But that word never comes out of my mouth. Never comes out of my mouth.
But the point being is, there's a difference. Okay, everybody wants to say this is the 90s and we're just one big happy family. That's not reality. My experiences have taught me when I see my friends getting beat down by the police just because they're black. Because I see, you know, I'm from Michigan. You know, we just got done with the Malice Green trial. When I see a brother get killed just basically because he's black and he doesn't fit, quote unquote, he's not a successful citizen.
I sit at home and I'll watch white shows, black shows, and I'll say a white joke and don't even mean anything by it, but everybody does it. It's natural. None of these people can tell me that they never made a black joke or a white joke when they're at home, in the store, anywhere.
Yes, I can understand what you're saying, but they have family members on that do call them racists.
Okay, I have family members too that can't stand white people. I don't care. I mean, I like white people, but I'm gonna make my white jokes. That's as simple as it is.
It's okay.
So is that one up for the racists?
She can make all the jokes she wants. I think
How
that's
is
great.
it okay to
A
make
lot of time it's hard, though.
racist jokes?
Yes.
How is it okay to make racist
Well,
jokes?
she makes her
That's
white
the
jokes
word.
at home, but they're jokes. She doesn't really mean them, but they mean what they say. They really dislike the other race.
Is that true, Edwin? Do you really dislike white people?
Couldn't hear me.
I don't dislike white people. I don't dislike Chris.
Then
I don't
I don't see the problem.
Because
He loves her. He seems to be a great boyfriend to her. Why should you have a problem with it? And you obviously do.
one of the problems that I have with it is the way that they met. You know, but it is my business because that's my niece. That's my business.
They do have a point. Her family does have a point.
She's in college, and then we don't hear from her for almost 2 years. She quits college and comes home with a baby.
To be with me. But she made her choice. See, her parents thought that I talked her in or came and kidnapped her or something. She made her own choice. She left in the middle of the night. I paid for a taxi cab. That was it.
Why was it so dramatic? Was it because you were afraid of what the family would do?
She wanted to get away, I guess.
It was just, I mean, I was young at the time. I was 19. It's true, I was going to school at the time. I don't know, people just make decisions in their life sometimes that, you know, you might regret later and you might not. It was really dramatic the way that it happened and everything, but I don't think that I regret it.
Do you wish things were different? Do you wish that Edwin liked Chris a little more and was more accepting of him?
Yeah, not only him, but, you know, the rest of the family, too.
The rest of the family.
And it goes vice versa, too. I mean, I wish that his family liked me a lot more, too.
But see, my family will accept them in her house. Or they'll accept Kim in their house, but see, her family, I can't come over for Thanksgiving. I can't go over there for dinner. You know, I don't have no, I traveled all the way.
That's with my brother and her mom. That's not the case with my mom, her grandmother. So we need to make that clear. And before anyone calls me a racist, I at least like to know what is a definition of a racist. I mean, define it for me so maybe I am, but I don't know what it is. That's such a broad term.
Would anyone like to do that?
Somebody define what a racist person is.
All right, ma'am, stand up. What is a racist to you?
A racist to me is a person who dislikes people because of the color of their skin, their religion, and stuff like that. And I think that it's wrong for people to be judging people by the color of their skin because it's just the color of your skin. On the inside, everybody is the same. We're all human. All of us.
That's true. That's true, but
that's all nice to say and it sounds sweet, but it's not reality.
That's true, but unfortunately, the rest of society doesn't feel the same way that you do. Because I mean, Chris and I have been places before, people that don't even know us, and you know, they'll say things about us, and they don't even know us as a person. You know, they just look at us and say things about us.
I've experienced that too.
Let me introduce my next guest. Please meet Yeshua. He says, get this, he says he would never date a black woman because, as he puts it, he just doesn't like them. I knew that would get the audience started. She doesn't want him to speak for, yes.
First I wanted to say to Edwin, you should be happy that your niece made it to college, and you said they might come across a crisis. That we are living in the crisis. You know, it's trials and tribulations she has to get over. And for you, you're missing out on a good life, baby.
Let me...
Tell us why you have a problem with dating black women.
I don't have a problem. Let me refine and correct the statement. You know, that's not... I do not at all in my books say that I don't date or don't like black women. What I do say is the facts, that increasing numbers of black women are deciding not to involve themselves with black men in favor of white men. Look, you can have any reaction you want, you're entitled to, but the data is the data. What has happened is that black men in America have done a very, very poor job of protecting, providing for black women. The result is that they are now angry, upset, mad, and are choosing lifestyle paths.
I'd like to know where this book is at.
Okay,
really.
The book is called Black Men Say Goodbye to Misery, Say Hello to Love.
Written by who?
Written by me.
It's written by you. You're not even a black man, to tell the truth. You're not.
Fine, Danny.
If you don't like your color, you're not even who you are.
I didn't say that.
I'm sorry.
I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
All I'm saying is that the data is very clear. Black women are delaying marriage at increasing rates, and I would bet you, if you took a poll of this audience, you found that the majority of black women here are not married, have no immediate plans of marriage, and they have lifestyle paths such as career and education prior to I didn't say they were bad people. I said they're making a very rational choice. They can't depend upon black men. So they are now choosing to opt for independent careers.
We're talking about racism.
They do not make good wives.
We ain't talking about racism.
All right, hold up. I gotta take a break.
They do not make good wives.
Excuse me. They do. Okay. Wait a minute. You heard that. He said black women don't make good wives. We're gonna come right back and talk more with Yeshua. Stay tuned. We are back, and right before we went to break, Yeshua said something very interesting. He said that black women don't make good wives.
No, right now, black women in increasing numbers are electing to delay marriage. The women we have interviewed, we've surveyed all across the country, are not choosing marriage as their top priority. In America, the Americans have now the highest divorce rate in the world. Within America, blacks have a divorce rate 4 times everybody else. Now, this is not of my doing. This is by their choice. Therefore, they are deciding not to marry.
But what
Therefore, they don't make good wives.
What
Are you saying that black women divorce more than white women
Excuse
do?
me.
That's fact.
Excuse me,
I would like to
Yeshua.
say that.
What about black husbands?
Beg your pardon?
What about black husbands?
I criticize severely black men for causing the problem. I blame it on black men.
Why is it a black and white country? Why can't it be an American country?
Well, the fact of the matter is, that's all sweet, that's all nice, but the fact of the matter is that if I were to ask you in this audience, person by person, to identify whether they're black or white, you would tell me they were black or white. See, that's just a plain fact.
Okay,
so
Yeshua.
what you're saying is rather moot.
Okay, Yeshua, yes.
Excuse me, are you married?
Beg your pardon, I am married. I'm married to, I'm married. Let me answer your question. You asked the question, let me answer it.
White woman or black woman?
Let me answer your question.
No, you said yes.
Let me answer
Are you
the question.
married to a white woman or a black woman?
I'm married to an Asian woman.
But have you ever married a black woman? Have you ever married a black woman?
I can't hear the question.
She asked, have you ever married a black woman?
No. I've been married one time. I've been married once, one time. My first marriage.
I'm sorry, but your attitude seems so self-hating.
Oh, I love myself. I love myself.
But you do have a problem with your
I
race.
have so much self-love. If my head gets any bigger, I might fall down. So that's not my problem.
Yes, what do you want to say?
Okay, I admire your intelligence, but also I despise your foolishness for not knowing self and loving self. okay? Because first of all, through all of your information and your statistics, you will also see that most black men are in jail not because of their problem, okay? Because whites do just as many crimes, but because of the wickedness that's entwined and the racism in the justice system, you would understand that more black men are being sent to jail for this.
May I respond?
Wait, hold on. And for you saying that black women don't make good wives, you are wrong. Out of every race on this earth proceeded black women, came out of the black woman. If you do your study, Professor Ricki found the origin of man in Africa. Okay, they also did study that the black woman contains the DNA for every race of woman on this earth. All right, so I suggest to you, it's not the problem with this man right here who is prejudiced. I don't say racist, because he judges before he really knows the black people, okay? And you also need to study. But to you, I suggest that you get more knowledge of self so you can love yourself. Hatred eats like a cancer, and it's eating up your own people.
Meet Steve. Steve was raised for most of his life in the Ku Klux Klan. Oh, he was taught from the time he was very little that unless you were white, you were nothing. Steve, what did they teach you back in the Klan?
In the Klan, like at the meetings and stuff, all you hear is negative things about people. Like, people of other races, like people like Spanish people and all, they call them the mud races. The black people, they use the slang that, you know, has been used for years. I'm not gonna say it. Other people, the Klan, the people that's born, like the babies that's born into it, I feel for them because they don't have a chance to, you know, experience any other kind of culture. They don't have the chance to get around any other kind of people. They're always brought up with their parents teaching them, you know, that thing. But,
And your whole family was a major part of the Klan. What were some of the horrible things that they did?
Like there's many times, like, when they first started the Klan, all my friends at school and all, they've always been black. All my friends, you know, outside of school, they was always black. My mom and dad, they had some troubles. They decided they wanted to join the Klan for whatever reason. All right, when they got into it, like during the week at school, I'd be, you know, hanging out with my friends and all. Then when I come home from school, it'd be back, you know, to the Klan life.
So it was almost like you were leading a double life.
Yeah.
You felt peer pressure and pressure from your family to be part of the Klan, yet you were friends with black people and minorities in your school.
Yeah, and it was hard because, like, my biggest hobby's always been rapping.
Rap music?
Since I was 7 years old. And, you know, that was kind of hard. Like, I remember one time the Grand Dragon was over the house visiting my dad, and I had an Ice Cube tape, and he had found it, and, you know, that caused a lot of controversy.
Did you get in trouble?
I didn't really get in trouble. I told him it was my brothers. My brother, they knew he wasn't in the Klan.
Oh, really? So how did you change your life around?
My mom and dad got out of the Klan thanks to the man upstairs. I owe him a big thing to do with that.
Did they give you a hard time when you left the Klan?
Yeah, when my parents first got out, they was threatened. Their lives were threatened. I mean, our family dog, we had a guard dog, a German police dog. He was killed. He was poisoned. My brother, he was homosexual, so he never joined the Klan. And they've always, you know, tried to get him. And, like, he had bought a brand new car and all. They totaled it out and then called him the next night asking him, how you like your car now and stuff like that. So
let me just tell the audience, you have changed your life around. You have a baby, and you are engaged to be married. Yeah. Do you want to meet his fiance, everyone? Come on out. Thanks for being here, Kim. Now, how did you feel? I mean,
you notice they cheer the black girl with the white guy. They cheer that. They cheer that. Some of the most vociferous, some of the most vocal people opposed to me marrying the Asian cheer this. That's right. See? That's a fact. That's not my imagination. That happened.
Okay, Yeshua, you said your piece.
Can I say something?
Yes, Kim.
I've been listening to the whole thing, and I don't think that the people are cheering because I'm black and he's white. They didn't applaud you because of your attitude, the reason you chose to be with somebody.
That's okay. That's fair. what is your...
I chose to be with him because he's white. I chose to be with him because I love him.
Well, what attitude... Fine. What attitude do you bring to the table that makes you fall in love with a white man?
It's not the color of his skin.
If that's the argument, he's a person, then no one should have...
marry a white, I mean a black lady. It's not that... It's the fact that you wouldn't marry a black lady. It's not the fact that you're with a different race.
Well, you did marry a black man, so what's the difference?
Not because he's black.
Well, see, that's
not
okay.
because he's black.
Nonsense. The bottom line is this. You approve of this, but you don't approve of a black man marrying, but you approve of this.
That's not true. No. I want to speak for the audience. They disapprove of you saying that black women make bad wives.
Let me say, she'll make a good wife to him. She'll make a good wife to her. Now, interesting. This man here says that she left college to deal with him.
No.
Is that what you said?
No. Wait.
facts.
You have the story wrong. I left college before I even met him.
Okay, my mistake.
You have the story wrong. And the reason why, and the reason why I have a problem with your attitude is because you are sitting up here degrading black women.
You are examples of what I'm talking about. You are examples of black women who have...
Insult to all black
I didn't say you were an insult. You are an example of black women who have chosen not to marry black men.
Let me introduce my next guest. Excuse me. Please meet T.M. Dayton. T.M. specializes in family relationships and says one of the biggest causes of racism in families is fear. T.M., what are these people afraid of?
I don't know. Let's ask them.
Well, I mean, in general. I mean, we don't have to, put them... What are people who are racist in families, what are they afraid of?
Change. They're afraid of the same things that all parents are afraid of, losing their children. They're afraid of separating. They're afraid of their children going off into a different world and turning against them. They're afraid of the problems that their children will incur in life. And a lot of it is parental fear. Any parent knows what's ahead of their child, that life isn't easy, that marriage isn't easy. Some of it's protective parental fear.
Okay, yes, stand up.
I would like to know, how can he come here? How can he come here and put down black women? They make bad wives next TV as a matter of...
Can I respond?
Please do. Please do.
I understand. I don't analyze things from emotions. I don't. I analyze from the facts. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't make a difference. The fact of the matter is, the increasing percentages of black women in America are rejecting marriage or delaying marriage. 70% of all divorces are filed by the... listen, these are the facts.
Okay, I understand. Those are your facts. Those are your facts from your book. But did you choose to marry outside of your race because you couldn't get a date? I don't mean to make fun or make light of your opinion, sir. But you're making it sound as if women the women that you were...
The question is absurd. It's insane. Most of my life, I have dated black women. That's not, the issue is not who I've ever dated. For me, the issue is for me was how to guarantee that my household was going to be a household of peace. And I was going to be with a woman who
You think that's because of Asian women? Because of Asian women are known to be subservient to men?
A very important point.
What's his point?
Guarantee. There is no guarantee in life. As long as you're looking for a guarantee, you have to polarize.
If you believe that, fine. You operate on that basis. I don't operate on that basis. I have full faith and confidence in my wife, and she in me. See, so we guarantee each other.
This is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Even though I don't agree with his points, when he says that it's okay for, that black women are looking for white men or whatever, everybody is upset about that. But when I have a problem with my black niece with a white guy, then I'm a racist. And to answer your question, the fear that I have that if black women keep married out of our race, what is going to happen to our race? That's one of the biggest problems that we as black people face, the breakup of the family. How are we ever going to become strong as a race if the foundation, which is the family, is not there anymore?
But it's people like you, people like my dad, people like him that make it bad for my son to grow up.
But we didn't make this world, we live in it. It's reality. That's the way it is.
But maybe the time to change is now.
Ricki, what has changed? What has changed?
Change your attitude. I mean, be a little bit more open-minded.
Now, if Rodney King would have had a different attitude, he would have now got beat down. Or if Malice Green, would Malice Green be alive with a different attitude? You know what I'm saying?
You know, Edwin, you're watching change happen right in front of you. This show could not have happened a decade ago and had this kind of discourse. And that's change, it's process, it's improvement.
So we should be happy because we get an opportunity to speak now? We shouldn't not be happy that people say we've changed. Okay, people want to say we should be happy with the fact that we can vote now. Why should I be happy with that? I should have had that right all along. You cannot give me a right that I was born with.
Do you want to meet Chris and Kim's baby, CJ? Yeah! All right. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, he's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Go to Mama. Go to Daddy. Go ahead.
What's up,
Well, I think we saw today that even though there might be someone in our family who has racist attitudes or who's a racist, that this is one thing that as children we can all keep from inheriting. Thank you for watching. See you next time.